Hey, how's everybody doing out there? All you fake rock fans, you mud maestros. Mr. Dave here, out here in Alpine, California. I've been hanging out in Alpine, my little hometown here, with projects a little bit this year, a little bit more than usual. And we got something different for you. We have been asked to create Stonehenge. That's right. Just like the one over in England, I think it is, right? And we are actually going to be building 12 stones. The uprights, plus we're also going to have some with the lintels, which are the stones between the uprights. And so I drew a picture, so let's check that out. So here's the picture I drew. Basically to do this, I just take a picture of the road or the area that we're going to add something to, and then I just put into it the work that is what we want to do, and it's through discussions with the client and my own creativity. And so, after putting the design out there, the client went, yeah, that's it, man, let's go for it. So we've created the entry stones, the first ones you see coming into the residence. These are 8 to 9 feet. It's an 8-foot ladder right there. And so we're adding them as you come into the property. This one over here on the left, that thing I think is almost 10 feet. It's a big one. It's going to be interesting to see what we can do to carve that up in the air. I mean, I'm 6'5", and so I'm walking up to it. You can see that's where my head is, and it goes up quite a way still. So that'll be fun. And over here we have the first lintel combo with the uprights. The client wanted to be able to see through it, and so we need to make dents and dings in these things because they're ancient stones that have been around for thousands of years, of course. And so that's what the idea is. When you make artificial rock, you want it not to be too perfect, and you have to fight your natural tendency to try to bring symmetry to what you're doing. I don't know about you, but that's something I've had to really resist. So we pre-poured the lintel, the bottom portions, and that way we're going to get a good sharp edge. Trying to get concrete to go upside down is not always so easy. And we've got enough of a undercut. We tipped in the steel, so we'll be able to tuck in the concrete when we shoot it and get ourselves a nice little shadow line right between the lintel, so it will look like it's resting upon the top of it. And so we really want to nail this. We want to make it look like it is really ancient. We're going to be using different stainings, colors, and textures to get that look. So the home is over here, and as we come down towards the area that's closer, the project area, you can see we have the other stone. These are opposite sides of the driveway, and there's the power source for their lights. So it will be an odd combination to have lights in the middle of an ancient stone made by ancient peoples from 10,000 years ago, but we need light and so it'll be an interesting combination. I don't think anybody will care or notice really. So Dave's down there. Dave, my main man, has been working his butt off. He poured all these concrete, all the concrete that's pre-poured, Dave did by his little self. And I mean, golly Moses, that was like, I don't know, 1,400 pounds to 1,800 pounds or something crazy. So Dave's awesome. He works so hard. Rescues my butt from being able to produce so much. I'm getting kind of old and tired in my old age, but he just keeps storming along. He has been, he is a plasterer. He's done homes for a very long time. 36 years he was plastering homes, as well as I think mostly commercial buildings like the military bases and large department stores, and so he's familiar with concrete. So it's been so great work with him. He really does nail it and get things done quickly and figures it out. If you work with your hands your whole life, you do find that people who've done that just know they know what's going on with these things. They sort of have a natural inclination to understand how it all works. Mr. Dave here in Alpine. We are shooting the Stonehenge job. So for those of you who have not ever shot shotcrete and carved it into a rock, there comes a day when you have to just do it. So, you know, there's always the mix the cement, apply it by hand on rocks and build up things layer by layer, kind of like an onion though. You end up with problems with the delamination and it's hard to bite, have those cold joints. So on big jobs, you just got to use a shotcrete pump, and you got to bring a cement truck in and fill up your project with cement from a big old source, a cement truck. So we're doing that today up here in Alpine. We're going to be making the Stonehenge stones. We got about a dozen of them. We have some that are laying down, one that's laying down, two that are the lentils between the uprights, and then we also have the vertical upright stones. And we kind of made it under that size, that type of flavor of shaping. Sort of like Stonehenge. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but so the truck's up here getting it going. My apologies for the little thing in the lens. Got to buy a new camera, I guess. But see if I can get in the shade here a little bit. So here they are. They put it into the hopper, and then that hopper, the two big pistons, pumps it into that little pipe, which has a oscillating little unit that goes back and forth between pistons to pump the cement. So it's coming down the hose, and we're all the way down at the, we start off usually about the farthest away rocks. We do those first. This one is going to be ready to shoot, it's ready to shoot, but we're starting with the other one down here, and they've done the bottom portion already. So they're going to continue that. They got a hose, they got a plug of the pump up there or something. The hopper's not working out. So they're going to continue to keep pumping it onto the uprights. And we're going to try and get this to look more like a rock, a bunch of rocks, by the end of the day. And so this is the shotcrete phase here in Alpine at the Stonehenge job. So yeah, fun times. We're going to blow and go on this, and once the shotcrete's on, that's a huge big step forward. It goes from these metal cages and mesh to kind of look to an actual rock look. They're all cement colored, of course, but anyway, so there you go. Looks like they got the clog figured out, and they're spraying it on. So I'm gonna have to start troweling it off and getting rid of the ribbing that sometimes happens inside the or on the surface where the cement is being blown on. It covers up the rebar and it follows the contour of the rebar skeleton, if you will. And so we don't want to keep that too much a part of things. We want to make it look like a rock, a nice big flat surface with peel-aways and places that things have chipped out and that kind of thing. So. Hey, what's happening? Mr. Dave here, up here in Alpine, California, and the Stonehenge job is done. So we got the Stonehenge job finished up here, and thought you might like to check it out. So let's take a look. So we've got the stones on the beginning of the driveway that comes on in, and you've got the one on the left. It's about 9.5 feet tall, maybe, something like that. Pretty darn big. And then you got these individual stones, and we're just trying to get the basic idea of an ancient piece hammered and chiseled away by ancient peoples, if you will, and modeled off after the Stonehenge theme. I don't know if that was Druids or what. I think it's been messed with over the decades and centuries and millennia. But so we got this one with the lentil stone on top, which is kind of cool. And there's going to be a light they'll put right in there, which will be sort of an odd item to have on an ancient people's thing, but that's all right. It'll be adding light. So, and over here by the residence we have the other groupings. This is the other rock on the adjacent side of the driveway, and that will also have a fixture in it. It'll be dangling down somehow, and so we tried to match it a little bit to the rocks that are here right around the area that were moved. You can tell the ones that were moved, they were buried up to here, and that's got the iron in it that makes it orange like that. So we tried to have a little bit of that orange in there in the rocks themselves as well, so it sort of ties them in a little bit. The real stones, that is the ones in Stonehenge itself, they're whiter, but it seemed that they would be out of place somewhat if we went full on matching those. We've got some nice color, a lot of variation in the color, greens and creams, and some of that is fog coat, and that's that cementatious stuff. And so if you can get the rock to look like a rock from close and far, that's those little dots that I spritz on there. Those give you a better look for the distant views, if you will, plus the close-up views. It looks like something's kind of growing on there. So anyway, Stonehenge out here in Alpine is finito, and another one in the bag. So we'll see what God has us for in the next projects out there. I think we got a slide project out there somewhere. So we will continue to persevere and make rocks. So wherever you are, be thankful, be forgiving, and like I always say, if you do that, you make a space in your heart for happiness to grow, and we know it's more fun being happy. So let's continue to pursue those things. All right, Dave Henderson, Henderson Sculptural Arts, and the Alpine Sky Studio out here in Alpine finished up on the Stonehenge job. So be well, be creative, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.